Good evening and welcome to the January 21st, 2014 meeting of the Petaluma Community Access Board of Directors meeting. Our secretary is absent tonight, so who's taking minutes? Yay. Smile, Tim. Smile. So will the interim secretary please call the roll?
Thomas.
Here.
Fishman.
Here.
Pearson. Davies. Moran. Utrilla. Rivas.
Here.
Trent.
Yep.
Williamson's here. Bertucci.
Two, also me here.
Okay, we have a quorum. And we have nobody here that I know of to speak for public comment. So are there any board of directors comments or announcements at this time?
The city is running an e-waste event on Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 3 p.m.
This coming?
Yep, please bring all your electronic waste and have it recycled for free. You don't even have to get out of the car.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keyboards, monitors, anything with a wire on it. That's not very big.
Lovely.
Actually, at the city hall.
Lucchese Community Center,
Oh, and what days? The weekend?
Saturday and Sunday, this
Right.
coming,
Excellent.
January 25th and 26th.
Okay. Thank you.
And what's the time? Do you know the time of that?
9 to 3.
I just had somebody ask me about that today. I will let her know. Okay. Anything else? Did you hear something? I saw you looking up.
No, I'm just looking at the...
And just so everybody knows, we are in the studio at PCA, and this is our first time holding our board of directors meeting here in the studio. So
It's very, very
you
impressive
get to see
studio.
it. You get to see it first time.
And the
here.
guy that wanted it here isn't here.
Yeah. Well, we all wanted it.
It's
We
a
all
nice
want it.
change.
I'm just not letting Jason get away with it.
Yeah. What about Matt?
He's damaged.
Okay. All right. Well, then, everybody's had a chance to see the agenda. A very slim agenda, which means we're doing good work. Is there any modifications that we need to make? And if we're happy with it, can we get a motion to approve it?
Well, we did talk about, Jason has an item on the new business, he's not here. And it's a very general discussion, so we could forego it or fold it into the retreat plans because it is connected.
I'm not sure what his intent was for action, since it says possible action. I would be inclined then to remove it from
Okay.
new business, and I believe that under item 10A in old business, we'll probably hit on some of those anyway, but there won't be any action, I believe, on strategic plan. It's all informative, correct?
It's correct.
All right, so then we will remove.
I'll move approving the agenda subject to removal of item 11, new business, 11A.
Second.
Okay, anyone opposed to that? Okay. And then our minutes for the December 17 meeting, December 17, 2013. Everybody's had a chance to review that. Is there any changes that we need to make to the minutes? And if not, would anyone like to entertain a motion? Looking at the roll call for that meeting. I would move to approve the minutes. If anyone who was present wants a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Abstentions? Fishman abstains. Okay. Item 6 is the treasurer's report, which is our treasurer Matt Pearson's report, but he is not here. Do you have anything that you want to make us aware of?
Well, the I was working with Adds Up, and if you recall, there was an error in the financials for August. And the error was in the reconciliation of our PEG fees, which come quarterly 6 weeks after the quarter ended. And there was a miscalculation in August that rippled through the other months. So I have, I requested new versions of all of them, and they have been posted on the website.
Okay,
And then I did a review of the budget because we had 2 complete quarters, which gave me a half a year of actuals that I could measure on, and I sent that out to the finance committee.
right. Any red flags?
PG&E went through the roof, their bills,
I saw that.
and we were running a pretty high bill with Adds Up, and I've worked with them to try to consolidate all of our work. So instead of doing check preparation piecemeal, they wait till the last minute and do as many as they can. So they're aware of our concerns.
Wait, do they charge, it's 15-minute increments?
I don't know the increments, but they do charge by the hour or by the clock.
Okay, so they count time for when you actually enter the office to,
It depends. If I have a sit-down meeting with Brooke, yes, that gets time. But no, when I come in and pick up checks and chat, it's not clocked. It's when they open up the computer and start preparing things, and you know,
Okay.
they're I was under budget for them, so that's what brought me to talk to them about it.
okay, yeah, because I know we've had, different styles, given the past executive directors we've had. We've had those that have waited till the very last minute, and we've incurred late fees on things, and you do a very good job of avoiding late fees, thank you very much. So I don't know how you're gonna,
No, it's just minimizing my requests for labor from them. Instead of doing, I try to keep on the checks as fast as I can.
I know.
And so when I get a check, I take it over to them, and as soon as I can get it, then I would get it signed. But now what I'm doing, and Neil just signed 8 checks, so I let them build up
Good.
and do it all at once.
Okay. Probably easier also to find check signers that way too.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm always here, except when I'm not here.
In French class?
South Africa last time.
Yeah,
It's always something.
you know.
yeah, I heard about South Africa. Okay. So, are you ready for your executive director's report?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then go for it.
Well, we had a nice little Christmas party. It was the staff's idea. It was a potluck, and Cindy came, and it was very cozy. It was fun. And we had a white elephant gift thing, and Cindy brought the gift that everybody was stealing. It went round and round.
That was good food, a lot of food.
Yeah, it was fun. It's neat, the lounge, when you turn the lights down low, it's very intimate and party room.
And we watched a movie.
That we did. What was it? It was Schwarzenegger and Christmas.
Was it Kindergarten Cop or something like that? It was.
Jingle All the Way is a Schwarzenegger.
I don't
Christmas
know.
one.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Jingle All
I
the
don't know. I don't know any other of his
That's
movies.
one I have to play while I'm getting the decorations out.
Oh,
And our Christmas schedule, we were closed for the week. The staff did an inventory of the equipment that we would check out, found whatever was not working properly, made a list of what to fix. We also did something this Christmas that was really neat. We offered video Christmas cards to local businesses, and we had a couple dozen businesses participate. And it was really nice. We created a template. All they had to do was send us a picture and their address, and we would plug it into wishing Petaluma a local Christmas. Go local. We're working with Tim on the Emergency Operations Center project. This is something where the stakeholders are the police, the fire, and the water department. And PCA is in a phone tree, so if there's any emergencies, we can get a message up, break into the regular programming. We're right now exploring the technology to do that with the server that we have, and we found a little banner that goes on the bottom, news alert, big red news alert. And it's not a crawl, but so we're gonna have to either, we're gonna have to figure out more how to get more information onto that. Usually a number to call for more information. We're gonna be launching classes for producing in the studio. That will be the last Saturday of this month and the first Saturday of next month. Zach is gonna be teaching. We want to train people how to use it, and then you need 2 people to be trained members to operate the system. That doesn't count the people who are in front of the camera. They don't have to be members, they can be guests. Cindy, you're taking the class.
Yes, I am. With another board member
Uh-oh.
and a camera person. I think.
I hope. John
I
Merrill,
hope.
right?
John Merrill, right?
Great.
3 of us have something up our sleeves.
A new show.
When are the classes again?
Saturday, the last Saturday of the month. I don't have a calendar with me.
And what time are they?
I don't know that. You call Zach.
1 to 5 or something like that. It's,
Or check the PCA website.
yeah.
Yeah, they're 4-hour classes. I think they have a limit of 5 people or 6.
You might be interested in my project.
I might be.
Yes, I bet you would be.
Talk show, we need a talk show.
Yeah, it's a talk show.
That's what it is.
I'm very interested.
It's a seasonal talk show. Okay.
We have a POV screening scheduled for the last Wednesday of the month. That's the 29th. We're going to be showing Ping Pong, a documentary about ping pong competition and a human interest story. And Amy is going to be the hostess for that. She's preparing that. There's a short film festival that the Aquas is working on. If any of you have short films, or if anybody in the audience watching this wants to participate, it's not a contest. There's no prize. It's just an evening to get together and watch short films with the filmmakers, and that's going to be on Sunday, March 9th. The deadline is the middle of February, so it's very loose. You can go on the Aquas/film, aquas.com/film, and get the submission form. We have a date for the Butter and Egg Day Parade. It's April 26th. And that's always been a big thing for the board, so I wanted to get it on your calendars early so you can start to think about who's going to do all the work this year. And I will be starting staff reviews next week, updating our schedules and touching base with everybody. It's an annual thing.
Oh, which reminds me, before I forget, the poles for the banner are in my garage.
Oh,
If you were wondering where those ended up.
okay.
Okay.
And that's it. December was a quiet month, so I don't have a lot to report. But
Okay. Does anyone have questions for John? What's the date of the parade again?
April 26th.
I didn't plug that in yet. Any questions for John? Okay, thank you, John. And we have nothing on the consent calendar. And I don't believe there were any committees that met this month. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Okay, Butter and Egg Day.
But I would suggest that the nominating committee start to think about meeting, because we have 3 seats up this year. So we need to recruit candidates and get that organized. We need to select an inspector, get somebody to volunteer to be our inspector, and set up the mechanism. It's pretty pro forma, but it's better to start early.
Jude would probably do it
Yeah,
again.
I think Jude will do it.
Okay. And the 3 seats up are Thomas,
Yeah, let's see.
I think I'm up this year. I think I'm up this year.
Thomas, Matt, selected seat. He took Ray's seat as elected, so he had 2 years.
Oh, he's still on?
And Jason was appointed for 1 year, so he'll need to be reappointed. But the elected seats, Rachel's still elected, George is still elected. So I guess it's Thomas, Pearson, and Davies. Well, Marcia, you're 1 year from May, so you're good. What we usually do in those situations is reappoint you in October with everybody else to get the cycle together.
Unless you
Do I
wanna
need to
fill,
reapply?
unless you wanna pop over and fill one of the vacant electeds, which I'm not so sure George is.
You could have my backup secretary job.
Thank you. But,
I'm pretty sure Matt wants to stay, but I don't know about Jason. And I don't know about that Thomas.
I thought I was up this year, in 14.
Nice try.
Yes, you are.
I am, now.
Yeah.
It is? We have 4 seats?
You're gonna have Neil's spot.
No, we have three. We have 3 elected.
Oh, for,
seats.
yes, for appointed, yes. Yes, those were appointed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anybody who was appointed could run again and be elected. That's also.
Then you wouldn't be appointed.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want the 3-year commitment and you feel more comfortable with the 1-year appointment, so.
well, kind of the way things are right now, I think appointment from year to year until I,
Yeah, we'll take that.
Except that you could be helping PCA if we don't have enough candidates, because we have to have a certain amount of elected. So sometimes that's an issue.
if that happens.
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a very expensive campaign, I hear.
Well, that leaves me out for sure. Have no supporters and no money.
I think it's cheaper than gas.
Then there's the FPPC, so. Okay, so, I guess we're gonna jump right into old business. 10A, discussion and action, possible action on plans for the that should be 2014 Ford fundraising retreat. That's a typo. Right?
Yeah, it's a fiscal year, so we're still in the 13-14 fiscal year, but I'll change
Okay.
it.
Okay. And so, I'm going to hand this over to John and Marcia. I've been lurking in the plans online with the emails that have been going around. However, these two have been doing all the work, so which one of you want to start?
Well, I can start. We engaged Diane Brown to be our consultant.
Right.
And she came to the office last Saturday, Friday, for a 2-hour meeting. And Marcia and I worked with her to kind of lay some ground rules for how we're going to approach this. So this would be a perfect segue to the report for that little meeting.
Well, I just, briefly, we decided with her guidance that it might be better to work with a small group to start out with, so we kind of drafted a couple of people and John and I joined in, and so we have a group of 4 that we're going to initially kind of be putting together information for her, and also she's going to be training us as in terms of what we can look for and how we can approach certain things. And after we at certain points in the process, the board will be asked to participate, and she plans to have a couple more meetings with us. We plan to meet as a group, as a small subcommittee, a couple of times. Anybody on the board who wants to join us can, but once the process is complete, she plans on putting together our strategic options and giving us some advice about how to implement them, and reporting on that to us at the workshop on, what is it, February
22nd.
22nd. At the workshop on the 22nd, leaving us clear to kind of discuss the 5-year strategic plan as a separate issue during our retreat. And then from there, from that presentation, we should be able to try and engage more participation from the board. We'll have more to do once we know what we're gonna do and how. So that's pretty much how it went.
Yeah, and it was kind of a relief to kind of shrink the planning group and not try to do this as a full board meeting, and not to take the potluck February meeting and try to accomplish much with the fundraising there. The fundraising is obviously part of a 5-year plan. We did talk about really important to have a goal that's reasonable, that we can accomplish, because the success is part of the payoff, not just the money. We have an issue in that if we'd love to hang the radio station on that would be the hook for the fundraising, but we don't know if we've got the license. So we can't really start printing out our flyers to raise money for the radio if we don't get the license.
If we apply for the license?
Yeah, yes, we have applied, and we should know within a month. But it's the FCC, and that's in Washington, D.C., so you can imagine that there's no guarantees. Let's see, the idea would be to set a reasonable goal, a sum that we would then try to accomplish, to achieve. We did some little exercises. It was kind of fun. It was like being in school again. And I printed them up for the board. We're meeting again we're meeting as a group on the 23rd. Diane isn't coming to that.
No, she's not coming. That's the way I understood it
Yes.
anyway.
So are you free on the 23rd? What is that date?
Yeah, we haven't set a time or a
It's a
place.
Thursday, I believe.
Yes, it is.
No,
The
This
23rd?
Thursday.
Thursday this week.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
this
that's
Thursday.
this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't set a time or a place, so.
Well, we could certainly move the date then.
Good.
Oops, I'm in April.
All 4 of us are here, so we got this one covered. We'll set it
Yeah.
tonight. But I printed up the worksheet, and I had an idea while I was printing this up. If we wanted to get these answered by you for the meeting on Thursday, you'd have to do it tonight, but I don't think you need to. So I was thinking, we use something in the office, Google Docs, which is really neat. You put a doc on Google Docs, those people who are able to see it can go to it and can write right on the same doc. So if I had put this on the Google Docs, you could have written in your answers. I think we should set one up for the board so that you all can go. But then I was thinking that might be Brown Act problems if we actually decide anything. Or is it a worksheet? Well, Tim is thinking about that.
As long as we don't make a decision.
Tim is in shock.
This is pretty interesting.
What she's talking about, or what we're trying to do initially, is find what she calls the low-hanging fruit. What's the best way to approach the best possibilities? Our targets, we have 1 million of them. What are the best ones? What's the best way to approach them? So that's initially what we're looking for, and everybody probably has ideas on that, so.
Are we looking for big donors and little donors, or?
All of the above.
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah.
Because our goal is gonna be relatively small, or we don't know what our goal is yet?
I think 15,000 I think would be a small, reasonable goal.
Is that something that you think will cover the radio station?
No, well, it would cover the setup of the radio station.
You don't have a budget yet for what you think the
Well,
radio station is gonna be?
We have a working document, if I can find it quickly.
I mean, would 15,000 would get us off the ground, but would it implement the radio station?
It won't do the annual
Mhm.
cost, but we don't know what the annual cost
Costs
will
are,
be.
right.
Here, I have 3 copies of this. I think that's
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I think I have one
You
too.
have one already?
Yeah, I think so.
And these are rough numbers. Zach is still trying to figure out the details. Um,
Do you have
I
one?
think that you emailed this to us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have one.
Tim, do
On
you
the
see?
finance committee.
I'll keep it just in case I don't.
So what this, rating the donors, it's like, who already believes in us, is a friend of ours? Do any of you know anybody on Clover Stornetta? You start to see who are the sure bets, who you can get to quickly. And you start to get a sense of where to start asking, who can you count on? How do you frame your approach to them? What are they getting out of PCA? What are how friendly are they to us? So Marcia and I filled this up. We started making lists of who we were thinking could be a possible potential donor. And then what it gets interesting is you take those names and you start to quantify what it is that interests them. What would the pitch hang on? Is it community service? Are they going to get a business sponsorship where they get some visibility on TV? What's in it for them? That's always a benefit. But you can see what's in it for them might be an altruistic charge of giving. People interested in culture, people interested in media, professionals, other nonprofits. They're not going to really donate, but and then the key was, why would they not give us something? And if you can think that one through and have your answer ready when they say, no, I don't think I can do that. But Diane's big thing, and this is one of her worksheets on the last page, is what's the biggest reason nobody gives you any money? You didn't ask them. So the ask becomes the mission. And I think what we were talking about is the fundraising group will keep tabs on what the promotion will look like. Are we going to use the radio, the studio? How are we going to do this? And then start coordinating a roll call. Who's going to do what? Who's going to go to what place?
Just how can we do it and how can each one of us help in the effort? So, and I think Diane will be great at focusing the efforts and at helping us design something that'll work for us.
And she's a fundraiser, that's her business, or?
She's a consultant for nonprofits.
I see.
So if you have a nonprofit issue like development plan, how does the board function, recruitment, she's got a pretty good website with a lot of information.
How big is her contract, or how much money are we?
We have a limit of $1,000, which is about 8 hours of her time.
Now, is she going to be attending our actual potluck retreat or
No,
not?
she's
She
not
is
gonna be
not,
part of the
okay.
potluck.
She's gonna attend the workshop,
Okay.
and that's gonna be her.
And that'll be the following Saturday.
That's
from
the
Right.
Saturday. It's a 4-hour workshop. We were going to have it here. She's going to help us shape the plan, and then on that Saturday, she's going to train everybody how to accomplish it.
Mm.
So it's a training focused with the plan that she helps us develop, and then we'll have Amy can do graphic work, and we'll get the.
And this will be everything from just hitting people up for money to fundraisers to this, to that.
Yeah, we have the options in it. If we have a goal, then we say, how do we accomplish the
I have a
goal?
great idea for a fundraiser. As we call it,
A little louder.
we call it yet another fundraiser. Professional, since there are so many this town.
I'm gonna work on that one. There's a pun in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any particular time you think we should have these fill out, or just as people get to them, or?
well, I would love to have it before we meet again, so maybe we shouldn't meet this week. We should give everybody a week
To do it?
to do this.
Can I ask how you, got the word out about the, Christmas cards for businesses? How did you market that?
The Downtown Association, Amy and I, we alternate, we go to their meetings. We were both at the meeting when I introduced her. It was at their morning meeting at Applebox. And I just proposed it. I said,
Okay.
we can do this if you'll send it. And the PDA, the Petaluma Downtown Association, got behind it and also sent out emails saying if you want to get a Christmas card on PCA.
So this
You
was
tell-
something,
Tell the chamber something like that too next
Yeah.
time.
That
and
was exactly what I was gonna say, is,
Get the
I
word out,
had,
yeah.
I had a little conversation with the executive director
Hmm.
last Thursday night.
and so
I
this
think
is,
she's ready to help us.
Yeah.
so this was just something as people were able to put something from their business on, wishing people a
Yeah.
Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays on the tube in between shows, or
In between shows, it's like the bulletin board. It's
Yeah.
a
and
20
it
seconds.
didn't cost anything for anybody to do.
Didn't cost anything. We've got the mechanism for setting it up. We set up a template, so once the template was made, it was just plug in the photo and
It's a
the,
very good cultivation technique. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, well, I think, given that,
There's no.
well,
and
we
there-
should ask to be part of Good Morning Petaluma.
Yeah, for the chamber. And there's no reason why you couldn't ask for donations doing that, right?
Yep.
When you do that,
yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
I was gonna say,
Well,
go
it's
back
that-
to the people that we did do the cards for and
Mhm.
say, you know, we did this for you as a benefit to you and a benefit to us, but would you be interested in
yeah.
supporting as well?
And it's things like that that I think with Diane's guidance, you know, we'll figure out more
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, plus it's a known fact that you have to say something 17 times to somebody before it finally. They tell us that all the time at Kaiser. You have to hear it 17 times, and that's why we're
Really?
telling you 17 times. We're like, no, we don't want to hear this again. Yeah, 17 times. So
That's not why I never remember anyone's name.
They should stand in front of you and say it 17
Yeah,
times.
it takes me that long to remember anyone's name. It's terrible.
all right,
Does
I-
she give us any ideas on, obviously I wasn't at the meeting, so any ideas on how to get names and addresses of large numbers of people? If we,
Um,
or are we looking more for corporate sponsors? I mean, what was her
the
thought
gamut,
process?
the gamut is wide
Right.
open, and obviously you have direct mailers going to a
Mhm.
mailing list, which you can usually get from the voters bureaus. They have the mailing lists. We've talked about getting into the water bill or something. I don't know if we could ask for money in that. That would be a little raw, rude. But you know, you set up a questionnaire that gets people engaged too.
But we could put in something, if you'd like to be a member, you know,
That's
in
the kind
in
of
the water
thing.
bill. Could we
That's-
not? Is that not something that,
They like the water bill to have primarily water conservation purposes. So if we could tie something to that, it might not be too much of a stretch.
But that's the kind of thing that we haven't
Right,
really
right,
come
come
to.
with-
There,
Right.
there's also a cost.
But I
Those
was-
are called inserts, yeah, and
Mhm.
it's not
It's
insignificant
not
cost.
free.
Well, the city has to
well,
pay for it.
maybe
Yeah.
the city wants to consider doing a show about water conservation here.
Do you know anybody that works there?
That's a big question.
In
I'll have to
water
scratch my head.
conservation?
We've done a film for the water conservation for the fair. Thomas did it.
Might wanna chase that contact down again.
That-
I understand there's a new manager of environmental services.
You know, the water agency, State County Water Agency might well wanna even pay for some
Yeah.
spots.
It
at
just
one of the
makes
positions.
sense.
And they might.
And they've got money, and I know their guy.
It's a captive
Well,
audience.
that was one of the big things Diane said. If you know somebody in these groups, like Marcia was gonna go talk to John Burns because she wants to set that up. And so that's the sure bet, is if you know somebody who you could actually go to and say, you should consider PCA as one of your annual donations. It's a great
This
organization.
wouldn't be a donation, would they wanna put a spot on PCA
but
to talk about conservation?
Well, that would,
That's the best kind of donation.
yeah, and that would
It's-
involve
yeah.
maybe a business membership or a business sponsorship or something like that. But all these kinds of ideas, that the thing that's gonna happen is, hopefully, is that Diane's gonna, I mean, we could sit here and talk about ideas forever. She's gonna come up with some that are well pointed at our targets, at what we consider our targets to be, so that, and that will be the best return on whatever investment we make in doing that. So that's where we're gonna go with that. So, and then she's gonna tell everybody, this is what we think our targets are, this is what we think our best return will be, the strategies for our best return, and then we can, figure out what
She has a real knack for cutting to the chase.
she does. Yes.
We set some ideas and she just said, let's just do this with a small group. She just cut right to it, so that's where we'll get it done.
Yeah.
If you set a goal, then the next step is you list the ways you can get to that goal. You have direct solicitation, you have a fundraiser, you have business sponsorships, grants. These are all tactics as
We
part
can
of
Ways
it.
of getting there.
Yeah.
I picked the 15,000 as a number because it's in our budget, basically. We have very soft goal numbers for grants, sponsorships, and donations. We've never fulfilled those goals. It's never hurt us because we've always had a surplus. But that would be an easy one to tackle. Just say, let's make those real numbers. How do we do that? We could set it at 10,000 as well. That would be.
Well, she
15,000 seems pretty doable to me.
she talked about a range. She said, you might work better with a range so that you don't feel like you've missed a goal, even though you've been successful. If it's within the range, then you feel like you've been successful, something to build on. So, but I think 15,000 sounds easy, but maybe it's just me.
And, she was saying that a lot of her training is going to be building your role as an ambassador so that you take advantage of opportunities to plug PCA and have talking points to help you know what to say. And
Learn the rap.
the elevator pitch.
That's what we call it at the union. Learn the rap.
Elevator pitch.
Learn how to say it 17 times
Yeah.
Yep.
without repeating yourself.
I don't know if I could do that.
Repetition is good.
Yeah.
The issue with PCA is we're a nonprofit that has a pretty luxurious funding stream. Not a huge, but it's some nonprofits are out there and they're entirely on donations, so they're constantly thinking, how can they get money? We can survive without it, but right now we're at that point where our budget is really cut to the bone. We've got this big radio plan, and this is where it segues into a strategic plan. We're thinking 5 years down the road. We have 2 full-time staff members, neither of whom are claiming the benefits. That will change when Zach is 26, when he's no longer under his parents, or if my wife loses her job with the school district. I might be in need, but I think at this point, we're not in a sink or swim situation. We need the money or we're gonna die. But it's almost like an exercise to build the muscles and the reflexes in the board so that this is kind of second nature and runs on its own steam. So we set up a goal. And with our smaller group, Marcia could help with getting a list of grants and the deadlines for submission. And then,
It seems to me putting together, well, of course this is for the retreat more than anything else, but putting together some packages that are for particular types of donors. Some people are just going to want to donate because they believe that city council meetings need to be on TV and that educating the school board and educational things, and other people are going to think it's really cool that some of the more unusual things that are on, and that there's a place for them. And putting together video clips, things you can put on a laptop and show them what's been on, excerpts of things that some of the things have been on would be really helpful for some types of donors.
Yeah, I think that's part of what she's gonna tell us how to approach, our best shots, how to
Yeah.
approach them, what will work and what probably won't, and that's part of what getting an answer to the questions, getting answers to the questions or to the objections that you might encounter when you're asking people for money.
just poured hot tea down my
Oh,
socks.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's hot.
Don't worry, it didn't get on the camera.
got a
So
towel out there?
That's okay.
Okay, the audio almost picked it up.
So that's
I'll
you
empty
okay?
I'll empty my shoe later.
Okay.
Smells good.
Oh, yes.
Is that Earl
Sure.
Grey down there?
that could have hurt.
Earl, get
Hot
up off
tea.
the
Yeah, Earl.
Uh,
All right. Is that
so-
it?
Well, do we want to set another date for our second meeting on fundraising?
Well, I always do better with a date and a time.
Yeah.
I definitely do better with a date and a time.
So.
So we're not
spontaneity
gonna do this Thursday then, is
I
that?
think that's a little premature right now.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to get some responses on this, get your brain share involved.
And if anybody else wants to come, this gives them a little more notice too. So. We're not limited to us four, if somebody else wants to.
How about next Tuesday?
Tuesday is what day?
28th?
Are you talking about during the daytime again?
Well, if you'd like to come, that would mean evening, so we can make that work.
I mean, will evening work for either of you ladies?
Mhm.
Yeah, I can be up here. I'm usually up here between 5:45 and 6, so
You say 6 o'clock.
Okay.
On
Right at
Tuesday the
here?
28th. It can be here, or
It's okay with me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
let's meet here.
It's okay.
Just on this, not that, they always make donations, but we should definitely have a camera crew for the opening of the new Friedman Home Improvement when that opens.
when
And-
is that opening?
I don't know.
Well,
I think the sign out on the property says March, but,
and I've it's crossed my mind that the new businesses in the new shopping malls might want to get on the screen to become more local.
Well, it's this big new business, I mean, the biggest business to open in Petaluma in decades opens, it probably should be covered.
Well, that's a good a test case. How would we approach them? A business sponsorship, we have built into the business sponsorship extra video services, so if they were a business sponsor, we would be more than happy to send a crew over to.
I think part of that would be getting on board with the Chamber of Commerce Welcome Aboard package. I think they have something like that.
Yeah.
Do they have something like that?
Yeah.
Most chambers do.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't know about ours specifically.
What is a welcome aboard package? Is that something that goes to everybody in Petaluma saying, or?
Dear new business, welcome aboard.
Oh, okay,
Welcome
so
to
it goes to the
Petaluma.
business.
that's all. They don't
Yep.
give them like,
PCA should be in,
yeah, they don't give them like, oh, I don't know, information about certain services in the city and about
All kinds of stuff.
businesses. That's, so it's a whole package.
Yeah.
It's kinda like newcomers for people that move to town, except it's new businesses
Yeah.
that move to town.
Yeah, I just didn't know they had something like that.
So Cindy, you're gonna set up an Onita Bertucci meeting
Okay,
and referee it? That'd be great.
you and Anita get along just fine.
Oh, you know, that was a joke word.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Could we do a video production? I mean, on like the new shopping center across there? I mean, even interview people as it's going up now, what's gonna be there, once it opens, taking a look at even as a show or something, or that's
Well-
out of the question,
We,
You'd have to contact the developer for that, for Deer Creek.
you know?
You know.
Regency would be a little
Well, I
easier because
opposed it, so
they'll,
I can't go do it.
Well, do you, you don't have the staff to do
no, and
things
that's
like
what
that.
that's where I was gonna go. We don't really
Yeah.
have the staff,
To-
and it
to
also,
actually do
creates a equal time kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you did a half-hour documentary on them, why
On
don't
this
you do it on
private
us?
business, then you gotta do it for mine.
So
I got
if
it.
they're a business sponsorship with, like with Summit Bank, we offered them, because they just moved downtown, and we offered them a kind of a low-key documentary kind of report on their new business. It's never happened because they've gotta go through, different levels. What's the office that double checks everything?
compliance.
Compliance. They have to run through the compliance, so that's a very slow process, and we haven't gotten back to them. You know, PCA runs You Shoot It, We'll Show It, so if they had somebody that was a videographer, we could train them, help them, show them, and then
Or
broadcast
if your
it.
producers suddenly got interested in a variety of topics.
Yeah, or if we had an extra intern from Sonoma State who was really good behind the camera and we didn't have anything else for them to do, we could send them out to shoot footage and edit a nice piece. I've been doing that for the last 4 years with nonprofits. I really try to pick at least one nonprofit a year and do a little feature video to build a relationship between us, and it's been quite positive. But it is work, and that's the work we can't undertake. We have a production for hire where people can pay us. Mayor Glass had a political forum, and he didn't want it to be attacked as he was throwing his weight around and using it to influence the election. He didn't want us to be tied into that, so he paid us. He paid us $300 to set up a camera and shoot the forum.
And that's cheap at half the price.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
That's
Yeah.
really
That'd be
reasonable.
150, yeah, that would be a
So-
really good deal.
if you were talking to somebody in
200
Freedman's, you could
pretty
say, you know, PCA is a real asset. You can get on their bulletin board as a business. You can become a business sponsorship and get a 45-second thank you that runs, 800 times a year, saying we thank so and so for supporting the community by supporting us. Or they could become a business member where 4 of their staff members could be trained and use the camera at their leisure. They could reserve it just like any member. Or they could hire us to cover it. So there are different options. And I think what we're gonna be doing with this fundraising is really trying to get all the options on paper and see them, so we have an arsenal that we can pull out with different situations.
Mhm.
Marcia's idea of partnering with the Argus with a regular TV show would be a nice idea.
I really would like to see a lot of partnership with the artists with video and produced like a Sunday afternoon kind of talk show or interview show that does more in-depth coverage with a reporter asking the questions of whoever reporter doing the interviews and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's possible.
Well,
You
I mean, there's the patch, and I wonder, can you put video clips on the patch?
Yeah, we've been doing that, and we've been doing it quite actively. We post videos at the Patch and at Petaluma 360, and we were working with the Argus with that. That person's no longer at the Argus. They have a staffing problem too. They don't have a lot of staff, so and they know that videos drive people to the website, so they reached out to us. We responded by trying to get our members to post, and we got into the habit of posting what we thought would be interesting. We don't post the board meetings, but
You could certainly, though, create clips of board meetings, especially on controversial things, and post them.
who let her in? The controversial stuff is when we turn the camera off.
So wasn't it his idea to invite you? Oh, he was just joking.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, I've been in that sport a couple of years, there hasn't been anything controversial.
Yeah.
You came in after the
Let's
fact.
get him the film
Yeah.
library.
That was the only reason we were able to hook him in, was because everything's good now. No controversy.
well,
I'm-
controversy at the city council
like-
isn't necessarily
I'm like
controversy
kind
with us.
No,
But here's a test case. How would we tap the people who watch the city council meetings? Because they are getting a benefit from PCA. And we know they're getting it because if we have a sound problem, the phone starts ringing. So there are people who are
I'd say that's how you tap them.
yeah.
Well,
All joking aside. All seriousness aside.
Well,
No, please.
actually, you could ask them.
When they
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
there are groups out there that I know that everybody on that group watches
Yeah.
the council meetings.
So do we say, PCA wants to go to the next level and we need some financial help? This is your chance to say thank you for all the city council meetings you watched?
You can put a commercial on TV for PCA purposes for that.
Yeah. Ah, okay, a
That-
fundraising
that's in DIVCA.
commercial.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that, that's already. good.
Diane will probably be able to tell us about stuff like that
Yeah.
too.
oh, the PCA auction, it's just like KQED used to have their auction,
That's one of the ideas on the table.
yeah.
Then you start to think about how much goes into making it happen, and your profit margin, is it gonna be worth it? There's,
I don't know.
In the
You know,
auction-
if you have volunteer auctioneers and volunteer phone people, and
But you got to get things to auction, and that
You do
takes
that.
some legwork.
that does take
usually.
legwork. Of course, the people who donate things for the auction, they get their name and lights for the auction, and if you advertise
Tax
the
write-off.
auction around town, you'll get lots more people watching PCA, and they'll think, if I watch PCA, I'm gonna get a deal, and I'm gonna,
You run a channel like QVC.
with a button, I watch PCA. You c-
That's good.
I think that's, and I mentioned this to you, John, and I think that there's a lot of people out in our community that don't know PCA even exists. And I have to be honest in saying that I was one of those. And being able to find the channel and find Petaluma and find what you want to watch. It's not like switching to Channel 7 and watching the Channel 7 news. So I think that this is off the fundraising part of it, but I think just for awareness in the community, that we need to portray that out more to the everyday community, that there's a lot of people, I think, that aren't even aware of it.
And that brings me back to what I was saying about you gotta say it 17 times, so you gotta wave it. Aside from asking for the money, you gotta just put it in their face 17 times
I
to let
think
them know
that's-
that they even exist. On the flip side though, I thought it was kind of interesting. Twice this week, I had two different people, different occasions, say to me, I saw you on TV this week.
Oh, well,
And I had no clue that they even watched PCA. Maybe they were just surfing, but you know, even if they're
Go back to
surfing and
that
they land on it and they see me on there, if they see me, okay, that's something that's of interest to them because they know me. So if we're putting enough things on there that you know, bells and whistles that makes them stop for a minute and watch. You know, so I think we got to get some really catchy.
I think we need a really big splash screen before council meetings, after, and then also during the breaks, instead of just a dead spot there.
Oh,
That's a good
I
idea.
like that.
Yeah,
Is
I do
if
too.
it says city council brought to you by PCA and some shameless beg for money,
yeah, why
I know.
not? Yeah.
as long as it's PCA, I'm pretty sure DIVCA allows PCA to do just exactly that. You can't sell ads for it.
So, you know, the Patch has had this thing, I just kind of changed the subject a little bit, but Patch had this fundraiser with and it wasn't a fundraiser, it was, this guy hit a $50 bill and you had to see where it was. It was a picture of something, it was kind of a treasure hunt. So, if you do something on PCA, if you have to watch a certain number of shows, clues are in the shows, and there's a basket of
Oh, that's
goodies.
fun.
Then it gets people watching, and maybe you're shamelessly advertised. I don't know how it would work. It's basically the great PCA treasure hunt. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, well, there is that. Do you know that Petaluma has its own TV station? Good question.
Exactly,
And-
I
and-
think that
With
that's
3
something-
channels.
Right,
With 3 channels.
That's actually above the state average.
Yeah, no, we're unique and lucky. So that's part of I think it's part of fundraising, is to raise awareness.
mhm,
Go to school board meetings,
Yeah.
which are videoed.
Mhm. The treasure hunt's interesting because we were so thrilled with our Christmas card that we wanted to do one for Valentine's, but that's coming up too fast. And the PDA, they created a logo for their Christmas posters, which was a little ornament that was like shop local.
mhm.
And they're gonna make those and then sell them. And we thought they'd have those ready and we'd buy a couple and have them as prizes for videos that people could submit. But now we're thinking more like Easter, and the Easter egg hunt. If PCA had an Easter egg hunt, and we got sponsors to help put it on around town, and did a whole video thing around it.
Call it a video egg hunt.
A video egg hunt, yeah.
Mhm.
So many possibilities, so little time.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. And then you take the possibilities and you lay them out on a calendar and you start to see
How does
how
it
you're
all?
doing. And the Butter and Eggs Day is one of our big splashes. So we can work around that date coming up. What are we going to do? How are we going to feed a fundraising request into our float?
Mhm.
Uh,
Or are we gonna pass out things along the way?
You
From
know, I
our
think
float.
we have some interesting data in that for how long was it? I guess it was 2000 to 2006. PCA was running on tips. We were running on optional.
Yeah.
We were running on optional donations added to your Comcast bill. You could say, do you mind having $2 added to your bill each month for PCA? And so many people said yes, that we have that. We've proven the fact that we have support in the community.
Mhm.
When it went optional, it was a shockwave to the board, thinking, oh my God, we're not going to be able to do anything. But we actually made more money with the optional.
Really,
Yeah. We lost money when we went to DIVCA and it became a mandatory percentage.
because they don't realize they're doing it.
Yeah, and it's 1 cup of coffee a month. It's not a lot. And I think, it's not a hard sell. It's a good thing in principle to have your own free speech, community empowerment. I use the image of the park a lot. We're a green space on a commercial TV spectrum. We're like a park. If you drive by Walnut Park and there's nobody in it, it's still a nice thing to see. It's a good part of a healthy community. And I think a lot of people resonate with that. So how do we message that and turn it into an ask?
Well, that's a good message, what you just gave.
Yeah, it is a good message.
Oh, you can wind me up and take me to the chamber in the morning, give me a cup of coffee, and I'll start going on.
You want to use one of my Starbucks cards?
Well, I think you ought to get Juanita to ask him to do, one of them.
Well, I have done them in the past, and it's very easy to get in. You're always looking for people.
And they have coffee.
Yeah.
Have we in the past done things with other organizations, say Rotary, Lions Club, Kiwanis, that type of thing?
early when I first came in
Mhm.
and we were renovating our image because we had
Mhm,
such
mhm.
a messy one. I did go to some lunch meetings. I can't remember which ones they were. I think it was Kiwanis.
Have you done them in the past specifically to ask people for money?
I did it specifically for the business sponsorship, and I did a couple of requests to local businesses. You know, we worked very closely with TAPS when we had the Little League, and I thought that would be a slam dunk, but no. A lot of these businesses, that's why we did the Christmas card, because they were sitting around these meetings saying, you know, if some of these businesses, if they're repairing the roads at Christmas time and people don't come downtown, there's going to be businesses that are closing. It was really that desperate. So it was a way to help them get people shopping local.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to remind them afterward that
That we help them.
Yeah.
So make a video on that program and make it part of the shameless pitch.
The shameless
Look
pitch.
what we did for the community.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could do the same thing actually with the Little League and have a video and go to the sports groups and say, look at what's possible.
Video
you know?
success stories
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
featuring what PCA has done. That's
Or a whole
the Little League one.
buy local campaign,
Mhm.
just, is that something you can do, or is that benefiting one business over another?
Yeah, it benefits local businesses.
Businesses.
Local
That's how
business.
Friedman's got here, is the whole local,
Mm-hmm.
they used to be local and they left town, and now we
Right.
wanted to bring them back.
Right, but the idea of supporting local businesses
Mhm.
during the holidays and all,
Mm-hmm.
and making that a cause, it's just, again, a cultivation of businesses showing that we understand and care about it.
Run out, get some,
Maybe someday we get something in return, maybe we don't.
run out, get some clips of the road being torn up. I mean, you don't have to say it was, they're not in December, but it didn't rain in December either, so.
Oh, it didn't rain in December. It hasn't rained in January. It's not.
So
good.
it's it could be any sunny day. We have 12 months of those. So you know just
I like the video success story, or kind of a compendium of the community value that
Mhm.
PCA represents, is a
Mhm.
good idea. And we've got a brand new intern who's got the chops to make a film, to
Yay.
film it and edit it.
That'd be great.
So maybe that's what her assignment will be to look at some old footage, pull out clips. The Little League
give
was,
John coffee and interview him.
yeah, there you go. Wind me up and point me in the right direction.
I mean, we have a huge youth sports
Yeah,
in this area.
and we'll probably try to think of a campaign slogan that we could run with
That we can use just across the board.
across the board, you know. And we should have it in place so that we can integrate that into the float on the Butter and Eggs Day. The first year we were here, we got a window at Copperfields. That was really neat. So there's ways to kite the message.
Mhm.
I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I think so.
There's one other way we could promote it. I mean, we have a membership of $30, which is a non-user, which means basically you're a supporter. I think we could fill that with more people if they
Mhm.
just knew that was a way to give us
Mhm.
$30 a year. Because a lot of people say, oh, I don't really want to make TV, that's too much work, and then they back off. Well, you can still be a member without making TV. It just means you believe in what we're doing.
Too bad you can't put it on the bill.
Is there a way we could go back to the $2 checkoff box and set something up like that with PayPal, where they give their credit card number through their PayPal account and they pay $2 a month?
Yeah,
We could just use the old, we're bringing back $2 a month donations.
yeah. You know, we asked Comcast if we could keep the optional $2.
They're still laughing.
But it did get an extra 0.24% out of it.
Yep.
Let's call it PCA Cast, check the box.
PCA Cash?
Cast.
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 Comcast, PCA Cast.
PCA Cast.
I don't,
Yeah, I was joking,
I don't wanna
but
go there.
something, yeah, exactly. Especially since I
What we really
fired
need
them a
is
long time ago.
is a
So,
can't miss TV show on PCA that everybody has to see. Look at everybody, and then we'll.
I'm just worried about your audio for the
Oh,
camera.
I'm just
trying to
saying,
get you
if
to
we
talk
had
up.
a TV show that the buzz was so big on it, that everybody had to
It's
watch
coming,
it.
it's coming.
Well, that-
Cindy, Jason,
You're
and
gonna
Neil
be
are gonna
part of
get
it.
in this room and they're gonna tear Petaluma.
It's gonna be a PCA Downton Abbey, is that
Yeah.
something.
P-Town Abbey.
Downtown
P-Town
Abbey?
P-Town Abbey.
P-Town Abbey.
okay,
I'm trying to figure out how to turn PCA into piece of cake. It's a piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
The U.S. military does acronyms like that all the time. That's not.
So to resume, the core group will structure the plan with Diane's help. We'll unveil it on the Saturday. We'll unveil it at the potluck. We'll bring it. This is part of the 5-year plan. Is we're going to try to bring in money and get back to you on that.
okey doke. Is that it? Are we done?
Well, I did want to say that I found the fund development worksheet that we had, that Cindy said, knew we had, and both Cindy and I have gone through boxes and boxes of stuff. And I can't find it's weird, I can't find the computer version of it. But I had a hard copy, which I made copies of. It was actually developed out of the outreach committee in February 2011.
Not that long ago.
Complete with 3 whole punch marks.
Yeah. I can't imagine where it was. It was in my fundraising folder.
Who's Ed?
That's me. Executive.
Executive Director,
Yeah. Ed notes.
Ed notes.
So here you can see that we,
Wow, you even did a timeline and everything.
yep. I was working with Ray quite
We
closely.
miss
on
you,
that.
Eric. That's done again.
Oh,
Eric Adams.
Yeah.
yeah. I miss Ray because I worked a lot on this with Ray, and he had a real business sense. It was great. So agenda item 5 was plans and assets. We start by listing up what we've just done now, different ways. Then we start deciding which one we're going to use. Branding, ambassadorships. It's not rocket science and it's not new. It's just making it work.
Are you gonna show this to Diane? Do you think that she would find this helpful or no?
I think this is more the strategic plan. I think we can. I mean, we can bring it into that meeting.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. And we have our members meeting, which we turned into a real nice event. I mean, it's evolved into really an open house. I like that. Because we don't have the kind of active membership that is going to be doing anything at that meeting. So it's really our venue. So this would be the time to plan that as maybe that would be the fundraiser. This year we do a big one somewhere and we make sure everybody in Petaluma knows and has a chance to come. So if there is a plan to do a fundraiser, I would hang it around our members meeting. That's in September.
I think that
End
might
of
be a good idea, yeah. Maybe we could get a potential partner to donate a venue that is really large enough to accommodate a bunch of people and stick it on the screen and say, this is, you know, bring a friend even, so they can learn about PCA.
So we're gonna be educating the community that we're here and we're valuable, then we're going to be asking for money and finding different ways to sweeten it. I think
Good.
that's-
Good, good. Anything else? I think we're
Just
done.
one idea while I'm thinking of it. You know how we had this, the White Elephant gift exchange? What about a Christmas time party when sort of the whole town does a gift exchange or something? I don't know how that would work. But there might be an interesting way to pull something off. I'll think about it.
Yeah, a community Christmas tree. Yeah,
Something, or what about a fundraiser where the price of admission is you have to bring something that's a product, it's saleable, it's in good shape, people would want it, and it can be used, but it has to be in good shape, better if it's new, and bring it in, and they become the auction items for the evening, silent auction or whatever. Yeah, too complicated. Never mind.
that one's getting complicated.
It's too complicated.
But I was thinking, when Terra Firma Farms has that big tent, we could do a Hawaiian roasted pig for all day long underground. The trick there is you create an event that becomes an annual thing people look forward to.
Or, you know, so
And it
some-
also structures our work because then we have a regular thing that we repeat and improve on.
we do a Hawaiian Christmas pageant or something. In the
Weather's
winter.
nice enough.
In the-
Yeah, for sure.
In winter.
What do you mean we had 5 minutes of rain?
Oh, that's right, on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
ruined my 5 minutes.
Now are we done?
I think we're done.
I move adjournment.
Okay, I second that. I think we're adjourned. Unless anybody opposes. Okay, thank you all for coming. Good night.